Google Performance Max, is it the campaign structure that is going to completely change your business and skyrocket your results? Or is it just going to give you false hope? That's exactly what I'll be breaking down in my review today. What's up, everybody? Alvaro here from Alvaro Barros Digital, and today I am talking about Google Performance Max. Now, if you have been watching this channel for some time, you might be thinking, wait, what? Why are we talking about a Google campaign as opposed to a Facebook campaign? So, funny enough, fun fact, I actually have been running Google ads for longer than I've been running Facebook ads. I actually just happen to like Facebook ads a lot more, and it's actually the primary platform that all my clients are advertising on. And probably 90% of my clients are our Facebook-only advertising company. But I do have other clients where I'm running Google ads and YouTube ads and Pinterest ads as well. So that actually is a goal of mine, little side note for this channel upcoming in 2023. I do want to be a little bit more comprehensive on the other advertising platforms I am active on. And so I am starting that goal with today, talking about Google. Now, if you are not actively advertising on Google, you're probably at least aware of what Google has to offer, right? When everyone thinks of Google ads, they automatically think about search, and that's, for a good reason. That is really the big dog, so to speak, when it comes to Google advertising. Search really is the main place that people like to be when it comes to Google's advertising platform. But there are a lot of other placements that Google has where you can advertise on as well, namely YouTube, Gmail, Discovery, and Display. Now, for the Google account structure, for each one of those placements, you have to create a separate campaign for that. So there's one campaign, well, not necessarily one, but let's just, for simplification purposes, one campaign for search, one campaign for YouTube, one campaign for display, one campaign for discovery, and one campaign for Gmail. So for each and every single one of those, you have to have your different targeting options, your different assets, you have to manage them differently, this, that, and the other. So it can get a little bit cumbersome. Now, let's compare that to Facebook, where on Facebook, there's also lots of placements. I know people always think of the newsfeed, and yes, again, the newsfeed is the big dog for Facebook, but there's tons and tons of other placements, right? There's obviously Instagram, there's stories, both Facebook and Instagram, there's Reels, there's the right-hand column on desktop for the Facebook feed, there's in-app and websites, there's in-stream for videos, there's search results. So there's actually a ton of placements inside of Facebook, but luckily for Facebook, it's pretty easy on there, right? You can create one campaign, that's actually the default, and it's going to spread the ads to all those other placements. Now, depending on what your objective is, you might want to remove some of those placements just to make sure that your ad looks good on each and every single placement. But like I said, for all intents and purposes, the vast majority of the campaigns that I put together, I'm running them on all placements, and it makes it very easy. Now, let's imagine it wasn't that way, right? Let's imagine you had to create a separate campaign for each one of those placements. So one campaign for Facebook feed, one campaign for Instagram feed, one campaign for Instagram stories, one campaign for Facebook stories, one campaign for search results, one campaign for right-hand desktop, right? All that kind of stuff. Like, that would be so cumbersome and annoying and tedious and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's the challenge with Google ads, right? For all intents and purposes, when you want to advertise on all the Google placements, traditionally you have to create a new campaign for each and every single one of those placements. But that's where Performance Max comes in. This is Google's solution to that. So Performance Max, you can think of it as Facebook's all placements default setting, where for a single campaign, you feed assets for each and every single one of Google's placements, and then it'll run that one campaign on all of Google placements at once. So it's a really cool concept and idea, and it's just a very streamlined way of being able to get onto all of the various placements within the Google Ads family. So when you create a new Google Performance Max campaign, you're going to start off with your images. These are the ones that are going to primarily appear on display and Gmail. You can add your logos. And then the next step is that you're going to add your videos. Obviously, these are the ones that are going to appear in YouTube. And then after that, you add all of your headlines that you want to appear on search, and then the descriptions that you also want to appear on search. And some of those descriptions will also be paired with your display settings. And then you put together your targeting after that for all of of those placements. So obviously for the search, you want to tell it what search results, or sorry, keywords you want to appear for. And then for the other platforms like YouTube and display, you want to tell it what interest you want to be going after. And then with that, you launch it, and voila, you have a campaign that is automatically eligible to appear on all of Google's placements. So it's really cool, very streamlined, and very fast. But I have been testing this, and the result has not been great. So I've been running this for one client for a couple of months now, and in terms of volume of leads, there's no shortage of leads, right? We're getting tons of leads for a very, very cost-effective price. So we're very happy about that. But very few of those leads are turning into sales. Now, why would that be? Well, luckily now, it wasn't like this at the very beginning, but luckily now it does actually tell you at this point where your impressions are showing inside this Performance Max campaign. It's still not giving you a conversions breakdown. It's still not telling you, well, for the ones that appear in search, here's the keywords that are working. For the ones that appear on YouTube, here's the interests that are working. So the reporting overall is very lackluster. That's kind of to be expected with anything that's brand new. Oftentimes they do a slow rollout, but it took them a while. So now you can at least finally see impressions. And when I looked at the impressions for my client, everything was display. Like 100% of the tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of impressions at this point. Actually, probably it is hundreds of thousands. They're all on display. There wasn't a single impression on search, YouTube, Gmail, anything like that. And that was very, very disappointing, because if you're not familiar with Google Ads yet, no one likes display. That's just the honest truth, right? So for this client that I run Google Ads for, we do search, we do YouTube, sometimes we do Gmail and stuff like that. Display, no, we avoid it like the plague. We've done it many times in the past, and it's always the same result. You get leads, they're very cheap leads in terms of cost, but they're also cheap in terms of quality, and none of those leads ever turn into sales. And I know that for a fact with other advertisers as well. I don't know a single advertiser on the planet that likes the display placement other than for retargeting, but here I'm strictly talking about cold traffic. And even Google reps themselves have told me, yeah, the display placement is useless. So here I am looking at this, and everything in this Performance Max campaign is going to display. To kind of give you a Facebook analogy, imagine you were running a Facebook campaign on all placements, and all of your impressions were showing up on websites and apps. That would be the same thing, right? So you're getting no newsfeed placements in Facebook or Instagram. You're getting no stories placements. Everything's websites and apps, which is the worst placement on Facebook, by the way. So this was naturally very frustrating. And so I spoke to the Google rep, and we decided to make some changes. One, we decided to optimize for a different conversion as opposed to just a lead submission, an initial appointment for this client, a higher value conversion. We tried that. Did not work. Then we tried creating a target CPA, or target cost per acquisition, that was very high. So in the hopes of telling the Performance Max campaign, hey, you don't need to get super cheap leads, right? You can get these higher quality leads if we give you a higher target CPA. But that also didn't work. And we've tried a couple just other different things, and nothing works. Everything always goes to display. So at this point, I've turned it off. I don't feel like it's a very useful type of campaign, because it's basically just a display campaign, right? I don't see any Performance Max so display. I just see performance display, if you want to call it that. And funny enough, the Google rep that I work with, he's even told me that's the biggest complaint for other people using Performance Max. And so I don't know why they don't make it where you can just get rid of the display placement, just like you can with Facebook, right? The default on Facebook is all placements, but if you want to get rid of websites and apps, which is something that I do often get rid of, then you can just click on that. But you can still appear everywhere else, right? So it'd be great if they can make it, you can just hit this check button like, hey, appear on search, YouTube, Discovery, and Gmail, but just don't appear on display. But it doesn't allow you to do that either. Or alternatively, what they could offer is for you to set a minimum CPC, or cost per click, because the cost per click on display is dirt cheap, right? It's always less than $1. So if you tell it, hey, I want my minimum cost per click to actually be $3, then it would automatically shift your impressions from the low quality placements such as display to the higher quality placements such as search and YouTube and stuff like that. But that option is not available. So overall, I'm actually going to say I'm pretty disappointed with the way Performance Max currently functions. And I have spoken to one other person that has also tested Performance Max, and their experience has been pretty similar in the sense that super high volume of leads, great cost per lead, but just not the best quality of leads coming through. And yes, again, that's because most of their impressions are coming through display. So again, again, Google, I think it's a great concept, but please work on it. Please allow to get rid of display, or to at the very least set a minimum CPC, because I think if you fix that, then this will actually be a phenomenal campaign type that everyone's going to be able to use, especially small business owners. It's going to make it very easy for them to get involved with Google Ads. So that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you found this review and breakdown helpful, but if you have any questions specifically about Performance Max, just let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.